Manchester would never allow you to drive baby, but we would, because we have the mod Chevrolet Impala 1967 right here, right now. Greetings petrolheads and welcome to romrom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to It's a Mod world where we test different mods for different sims. Today, in honor of the sadly last season of Supernatural starting this fall, we are gonna be driving an Impala from 1967. Those who know the series will know why we're driving especially this mod. Those who don't will learn why in this video. We are in a 1967 Chevrolet Impala, which for those who don't follow the series is Baby from Supernatural. And check the number plate. Yes, is exactly the number plate used for Baby, at least in the scenes from 2005 to 2007. Oh, there's a line, there's a line, there's a line. Why do I keep finding these lines? Oh well, it happens. I don't get it. Why do I have 3 door handles? I mean, one to open the door, one to pull the window up and down, but the third one, if anybody knows, possibly you guys and gals in the US, let me know. Why do you have 3 handles? Yep, this is Baby, alright. What will I see if I look in the trunk? Stuff to fight witches, werewolves and vampires? Ow. Ouch. No, my room isn't big enough for me to reach into the trunk. Oh well. We'll never know. Let's go to the other side and check the motor. Is there a motor in the motor? There is a motor in the motor, but it's orange. Ow, again, my feet. Man, these mod makers really hate feet, don't they? I don't know what's up with the color of the motor, but the rest looks quite well done. Especially if we think that not many people are gonna see it. I don't like the sound that much. While I was not driving, it did sound normal, it did sound like an American muscle car, but what are those high harmonics now? What's going on here? Whoa, not exactly a racing car. When you start it from the first gear, it takes a while to catch some speed. This car, at least in the version in this mod, confirms every cliché that you may have about American muscle cars. It's very easy to recreate classic scenes from old movies, as this car behaves exactly like we see in those movies. You have to be careful when pressing the throttle. See what I mean? Because of the soft suspension and because of the big amount of torque that this car has, be prepared to need to correct oversteering a lot of times. You also have to be very precise in working with the brakes, or you'll block the tires quite easily. This is not a car that appreciates you slamming the brakes. In the very likely case that you start blocking the tires, release the brake a little bit, try some trail braking, and you'll see how it reacts very fast to that, and you can still get the corner. Of course, that doesn't mean that you should not press the brakes at all. It means that you have to be very fine-tuned and very precise when using the brakes. You will have to relearn how to brake when you get into this car. Speaking about the tires, something's up with the tires. They don't feel quite right. Maybe this mod was made based on an older tire model from Assetto Corsa. Over the lifetime of Assetto Corsa, Kunos implemented different tire models, and of course, if a mod is based on an older tire model, it's missing things or leading Assetto Corsa to misinterpret some data. While clearly this car oversteers if you don't take care of it, you always can correct it quite well, and very seldom I lost control of the car. The more I went into the limit of the car, the more I did lost control, but that's what you do when you learn a car, when you're training on the car. If I was driving it normally, even if I was at the edge of the physics, as I said, quite often was able to regain control of the car without any issues. As soon as you grow accustomed to the way this car reacts, which is the way that any American muscle car reacts, at least one of those times, this car turns out to be quite stable. You just have to treat baby the right way. Of course, Dean knows that. It helps that the force feedback is quite good. I feel it when I go on the brakes, I feel it when I go on the throttle, I feel it when the car is starting to oversteer. I feel what this car is doing, and therefore I can correct the oversteer so that I don't lose control. All in all, it's not a perfect force feedback, I've had better, but it's a very good force feedback that lets me drive this car correctly. Will I hear 70s rock music if I turn the radio on? Probably not. So I would have to sing it, and because of copyright strikes on YouTube, this video would get deleted, so I'll hum them to myself. Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Oops, the clock isn't working, or more precisely, it has no hands. I think the last time I drove a muscle car and had to push it to the limit was in GTR 2 or something like that, and it was a Mustang if I remember correctly. I'm gonna get impressive images from all this drifting, but drifting doesn't help making better times. Or does it? My delta is higher. Racing these oversteering monsters not easy. Blood, sweat and tears, I tell ya. On the other hand, racing this oversteering monster can be lots of fun just because of that. How do you make an oversteering monster handle like a race car? How do you deal with it so that you can race with it? How do you use brake and throttle the right way? How do you take the corners? Yeah, discovering that can be a lot of fun. What are you doing? You went into pits? In the last round? What's going on here? What the heck is this mod doing? Oh, what a fun mod. Not only are these cars fun to ride, but of course with especially this mod, you can imagine that Dean gave you the keys of Baby and you're allowed to drive it around. Yeah, dream on, as if he'd ever do that. This was lots of fun even in the race, so maybe I will be riding Baby more often for some fun in very diverse tracks. Skip the small error with the line, this mod looks very good, the immersion is excellent as you feel exactly as if you were in an old Impala, so for the look I'm giving it 5 eyes out of 5. The sound, yeah, well, I didn't like it very much. When you get into high revs, it's as if the motor sound would double, which is strange, so I don't know what was going on with the sound there. When the car is on neutral, it sounds exactly as all these cars sound. It purrs like a happy cat, but it's disturbing that it doubles up or whatever is happening, so sadly for the sound I can only give it 4 ears out of 5. The driving feeling is excellent. It doesn't have the best force feedback I've ever had, but it's quite good and you get the feeling of this car and how to drive it quite well, and I really felt like in one of these muscle cars. For the driving feeling I'm giving it 5 wheels out of 5. This is a very fun mod. This is a well done mod that I'm gonna be using many times. I can recommend this mod for medium to expert drivers. I don't know if a beginner would be able to play correctly with throttle, brakes and the wheel, not to lose control all the time, but medium to expert drivers will have a lot of fun. And of course, if you want to have a race of muscle cars, this mod is excellent for that, as you will have to be very careful in driving this car while having to drive it to the limit. If muscle cars are not your thing, don't despair, we have tons of videos sharing the joy of sim racing. Check them out, check our channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you've watched until here, you are my hero. If you liked it, applaud by giving it a thumbs up and please share it. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell to become part of the ever-growing RomRom family and to be informed about new videos. And if you've already done so, thank you very much for that. And until the next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium.
Visit romrom.net to connect to fellow sim racers and sim racing fans.